In this demo, I'm going to show you how a social business tool such as Jive might be used in the day-to-day life of people in the shale gas asset team. And I'm going to show this from 3 different angles. The first example will be shown from prior to the execution of our 2012 drilling and completion project, and then I'll move on to how we might use the tool during that drilling and completion project, and then after the project is done, when we're analyzing the results, how else might we use the tool. So I'll jump into the Jive software. So now again we're starting with prior to the actual project starting, and I'm looking at an activity stream from my profile, and you can see my little avatar here and with the posts that I've thrown on, and I've filtered down to content just from our B77H drilling and completion subject matter. So I'm going to scroll down and see what kind of activity has recently been posted here, and notice that Lindsay Thomas has posted something into our drilling and completions planning page. So that's how I am aware that a change has happened. And when I click into that, I can see this kind of wiki style page where she's posted our testing objectives document for quick reference for anyone in the team to find, which I can zoom in like that. And she's also posted here a completion objectives document with all of the details around this project, and you can see how Jive opens it up in this PDF viewer, so it's not actually jumping me into Adobe's software where I can then view it in full screen and jump to the different pages of the document. And for interest's sake, you can actually annotate and discuss this document on the side of this tool, so it's quite powerful in that way. So jumping back to the wiki page, the whole point here is that anyone who's been given permission can jump in and actually edit this page, and so it's very easy for the team to contribute and link documents and reference material, or even status updates. So I could say, for instance, approval status, PAF approved July 24th, 2012, and then I can publish this. I'll just do it as a minor update so it doesn't show up in everyone's activity stream. And now whenever anyone opens this page, they will see that status, and it's just that simple to make a web page. The page itself can also have discussion embedded within it. So for instance, down here we have Dave Scarpino asking a question: how are we going to do DFITs, which are diagnostic fracture injection tests, on the B77H pad? And you can see I responded by saying, here's a sample procedure that we found in the Bree & Associates webpage with a link to that page itself. And then Todd came in and said, well, here's the actual procedure we're planning to use in this pad, and Jim was able to see that, take a look at it, and recommend change to one particular part of that procedure, and Todd just replied by saying thanks. And then I came in and said, oh, I wanted to copy this procedure into our DFIT wiki page to make sure that the content is saved for future reference as we do more DFITs in the future. So there's a lot of things happening here. One, any person who is able to observe this page, which is anyone on the team, is going to see content that they wouldn't normally have seen. This might have been in an email or a meeting discussion in the past. And then they can ask things like, what is a DFIT? And right away they have the ability to link to things like our wiki page all about DFITs and find out about what these things are and what have our results been in the past related to DFITs. They can also ask, based on this page, how do we plan on conducting these DFITs on our pad, and immediately have access to that material as well. And then, most importantly, who are the subject matter experts related to DFITs in Nexen? And you can see they can right away look at Todd or jump to his profile and see the kind of activity that he's posted and start to get an understanding of what his experience is and what kind of questions they could ask him. You could also search for DFIT in Jive, and I'm going to view all results here and search for people, and it's actually going to recommend people that have posted content related to DFIT. So you're getting this live update of subject matter experts just based on the content that they're posting. Now I'm going to shift gears and look at how might we use this tool during the execution phase of the project. So I'm just going to jump to a page that we mocked up here for the B77H execution. And here again we have another wiki style page. It has a table of contents to be able to jump down. And here we're getting something that would normally be issued via email that you might get if you're on that email list, where you're seeing the actual status of the project as it's being completed. This is a daily report that can show everyone a quick reference of how are we progressing through this project, and it can be updated by anyone on the team right here inside the page. And here we have a link to the planning page, so it's all in context here. If I want to know what the planning material is related to the execution, I can easily find it. I can also see procedures related to any of the work that might be happening on site, and we can make sure that the latest versions of the procedures are available here, and anyone can access the procedures quite easily. And then getting into a real issue that we're working with right now in the team, the data as it's coming in from the field that the team wants to analyze. There's tons of emails happening related to this, and meetings and discussions, and here we're trying to centralize that discussion. So for instance, I can have a status of the data posted right here on the page saying that our pumping data load issues are still unresolved. We're expecting to resolve them by this time, and I can actually have a link to the data itself right here that jumps me to a Spotfire page. And here I can see all the latest data as it's flowing in from the field, and start to look at the pumping data visualizations as it pertains to whatever well I might be interested in. And here I can also mark data and generate a table that I can export to Excel or any other tool for analysis. The key here as well is this data is not being embedded in the social business tool. It's actually just linking to this tool, so I wouldn't even be able to see this if I wasn't given access to this through the Spotfire administrator or the data source administrator. So we're not really dealing with having to set up new data sources and administrate those new data sources as we use these social business tools. Also really important is the ability to have discussions in context of that same frac data that's happening right on that page. Is you can have someone ask a question, in this case Lindsay, saying, I want to export the frac pumping data to Excel to run some calculations. Is there an easy way to do this? And me being either a follower of Lindsay or a follower of this page, the drilling and completions execution page, I would get a notification in my activity stream showing me this question, and being a subject matter expert, I can respond right here on the page so that anyone can see it. And in this case, I've actually pointed her to a link in the analytics community of practice saying here's how you can find out how to do this. So it's really good for finding subject matter experts, finding questions you can answer, putting the questions in context of the actual work that's happening. Now I want to switch gears again and show an example of how we might use this tool when we get to the analysis phase of the project. So I'm going to jump back to my activity stream, show you how this content might be surfaced, and I'm going to kind of scroll down and see what kind of posts have happened. So someone might be looking through my activity and see that I've posted a web page called Frac Order. So this is an example of how the data analysis workflow as it pertains to the Northeast BC shale gas subsurface team would use a tool like this to actually manage that workflow and capture best practices and knowledge and all of that stuff. So here you can see a page related to the actual frac order design question that our team is constantly dealing with, and there's links to key visuals that have happened in the past, shortcuts to some of our annual presentations related to this subject, and we started to put some other stuff in here as well. We have tasks and all of the deliverables related to all of these design questions right here for anyone to find. And we're also doing something interesting called observations, where in our day-to-day work we might actually see something in an SPE paper or in our geological analysis or in our Spotfire analysis, and we just want to capture that insight or that quick learning. It might not even be fully thought out, and put it inside of this space in the context of this design question. And now we've enabled us to do that just by posting it in this observation section, and it's the responsibility of the frac order subject owner to actually take all of these observations and form it into their recommendation for the next year. So this is actually turning out to be very valuable. And then we have some more of our formal stuff, like our what do we knows we've captured in previous years, and here it's a live thing that anyone can tweak and edit and comment on at any time. And we're also doing things like putting our meeting minutes in here as well. So a very effective tool for capturing all of the content related to that design question by anyone on the team, and easily accessible and searchable, and very useful. And now I want to show how you can use this tool to kind of explore content in a fairly intuitive way to find out more about this stuff that you might not otherwise have discovered. So I can see here that Christopher Peter is the current project owner. Everything's linked, so I can click on the name here and see my activity all of my profile details, and this activity page here will actually show any of the recent updates that I have. So someone could be looking at my stuff and say, well, this is pretty interesting, I wonder what else Chris has posted, and they can click on my frac order page, or see that I've also been posting something on a Gopher page. And they can say, what is Gopher? And immediately go to a page where I've given an overview of the tool itself and what the workflow entails and some of the reference data, as well as some of the petrophysical inputs required for Gopher. So you get a pretty quick understanding of what is this tool, what is our understanding of this tool, and how are we applying it. And then you can even have discussions in context of that tool down below. And this is actually, for this demo, copied from a real email that only the people involved in this discussion were able to see, and now we're able to surface that content to anyone in the team who might be interested in, and they can see some real learnings about issues that we faced when dealing with setting up a Gopher model. So definitely a useful way to present content. And one other example I wanted to show, if I jump back to my activity stream page, is this tool surfaces recommended and trending content. And so based on my activity and based on the things that I'm following, it will actually bring content to this screen to recommend things that I might not otherwise be aware of. So for instance, here's one I haven't seen yet today, Apache's Petrosleek system, posted by one of my colleagues in the team related to another design question. And it's just, he's actually posted it as a question here saying Apache used this Petrosleek system to log while drilling and optimized well placement. Would we be interested in using something similar and optimizing our wells? And I can reply, and in this case the actual person who posted the question can say this is the best answer out of the many different replies that he gets, and then it gets documented in that way. So another useful way to share content among the team. So to wrap up here, jumping back to the PowerPoint, just to give some more examples of how we might do this. So again, going back to the 3 phases of the project, in the planning phase, we're able to do things like bring together all current versions of the information in one location, and also provide easy access to key project deliverables. So we can actually summarize all the key deliverables for a project and facilitate discussion on those deliverables in a way that everyone can participate and everyone can see. And also in this planning phase, we were able to present formal and informal learnings from past projects in a simple, intuitive, and contextual way. And so as we build a critical mass of content in here, it becomes easier and easier to reference prior material. Then when jumping to the next phase, where we were actually in the execution part of this drilling and completion program, we were able to centrally manage the project progress to improve our communication. We're also setting up a central repository for key procedures and easy access to discussion. And this data piece is really important. We're managing the project data on the fly with high visibility to data loads and quality control, which definitely prevents duplication of effort and improves our data capture and analysis. And when we get to the analysis phase, we're seeing that we're integrating all the information related to that data analysis in that wiki style of page with meeting minutes, discussions, tasks, visualizations, data links, observations, and learnings, which is a very useful way for the team to collaborate on that content. We're also providing quick reference to the latest version of key maps, charts, and data. And we're able to solicit opinions from subject matter experts without the need for meetings. Definitely a perk. And we're capturing all the knowledge without even really trying to for future reference. It's not like there's a lot of extra effort. We're just doing things we would normally do elsewhere, but doing it inside of this tool. And tying it to business processes for that specific reason is really important to make sure that we get the sustainable engagement of the team as they work in tools like this. So to sum up, we're looking at how might this tool actually benefit the shale gas team, and we thought, would it be reasonable to expect we might save 15 minutes a day? If that was the case, then we could actually reduce our G&A by about $150,000 per year. And if you consider some of the more qualitative benefits like improved decision making, timely information, and captured knowledge, I think this thing really has a lot of potential. And Apache actually has an interesting reference case. They've implemented a social business software in the last year, largely around their drilling and completions community for starters. So the short of it is, as you start to use this tool and understand how it might enhance your communication, the benefits should far outweigh the costs.